What is going on, guys? This is Logan with West Desert Wheeler, back again for the 2023 North vs. South Utah RC Crawling Championship, presented by Slut Crawlers and West Desert Wheeler. I am really looking forward to this series of events where we have 3 Southern Utah events and 3 Northern Utah events, and then we're going to conclude the series in Central Utah where the North and South will come together to battle it out to see who is the best in the state. This is an awesome RC crawling competition put together by myself and our friends from the North, mainly Luke with Scumbag RC. Really looking forward to this year as we have brought on a bunch of awesome sponsors to help support our event. So let's go ahead and thank them while we can. We've got G-Speed Chassis, Shift RCs, Rock Pirates RC, Reefs RC, UC Fab, West Valley Hobbies, Sky RC Hobby Shop, Radz Hobbies, Axial Element, Deez Company, and Spec RC. What an awesome, absolute heavy hitter list of sponsors this year, and we are super excited to bring on some new ones as well. We are out here today in Southern Utah for round 1 out on the rocks with our friends. We had an excellent turnout, and we're going to take a look at a couple of my own runs out here on courses. I had set 6 separate courses. I had set 2 courses for Class 2, Class 3, and Unlimited. So we're going to take a look at a Class 3 run with my rear steer Capra based Chupa Capra, as well as an Unlimited run. So last year we had Unlimited and Class 2, which meant that the rear steer Capras had to go up against MOAs, but this year we went ahead and split them into their own categories. So Class 3 being more for the rear steer based Capra guys that we have a lot of down here, and then Unlimited is for the MOA and pin tire guys, but of course the rear steer Capras can join in there if they choose to do so. Here we go, running out on course, got my Chupa Capra with full out Vanquish goodies. We're going to head over to gate number 1. Now I must apologize if my camera work isn't perfect here. It's because I'm actually filming myself while driving and competing and hosting the event. So it may not always be perfect, but we can see pretty well right there that I am working through gate number 1. Again, I had set all these courses personally, and I had gone out in multiple trips and made sure that all these gates were possible if you drove the line correctly. Some of them ended up being more difficult by the end of the day because the courses had been used and washed out as more and more people drove during the day. And right there, we're seeing an unfortunate slip of that front right tire fall down into this ravine. I'm actually trying to line myself up to go for an optional bonus gate, and we're going to take one more shot at it and see if I can get this car balanced and head into it. Now, I do feel a little bit of that I should at least give the bonus gates an effort if I am driving the courses that I set myself, just because I think that it shows that, you know, they are possible and that they are worth trying. So I hadn't seen many people try this bonus yet, and we're about to see why. The transition out of the crack and onto that lower rock on the right side, you have to traverse out of the crack, which is a very difficult maneuver. But as we watch right here, I was able to get the front end across and then bring that left rear across. I may have to pat myself on the back on that one. That did turn out really smooth in competition, which isn't always the case. But yeah, feeling really good about how that one went. And then right there, just a little blip of the throttle to not allow my rears to slip down and bump into that gate number 2. You can see we're doing a few small circles right here. But once we get past gate 5, we're actually going to go and head further down course, which will allow the next competitor to start while the first competitor is still on course. So I try and design course flow to work that way. Here we go, up 3 and a hard left drop into number 4. So, and then on top of that, number 4 does not set you up well to get out of it easily. So that front wall right there, I'm trying to wiggle my servo and shift the front end down, and it actually moves my whole rear end. And I decided, you know what, I have to throttle through. And the way my car handled that, it kind of just twisted and fell straight down. I saw a lot of people end up on their lid right there, including myself during practice. But during the competition, apparently I lucked out and hit just that perfect line and made it happen. So that brings me to a good point, and that is that I have set these courses, I have run these courses Myself and Luke, who are putting on the event and organizing it all, we do not take anything from the sponsors. We make sure it all goes to the people who come out and support the event. So I am not taking anything home. Even if I were to place in first place, I don't take anything from the event. I don't count myself as actual competition because I've been to events where people have done that before and it just rubs me the wrong way. I don't like when people do that, so I make sure that I don't do it myself. But yeah, that's just how I feel about it, and Luke feels the same way. So here we go, dropping down into bonus number 2. Pay attention to that left rear tire on the top there. I'm going to go ahead and use my rear steer and turn it out wide, which may seem like a mistake because it's aiming me towards that cone, but it's also hanging the whole weight of the car up there. And unfortunately, as that rear tire just slowly slips off that ledge, I bump the number 7 cone, and then I get through the gate perfectly clean. If I hadn't have hit that cone, it would have been a perfect bonus into number 7 combo. This is a bit off camber into kind of a steep climb here, so a little bit tricky. You really got to mind where your wheels and tires are, and you don't want to get it wrong. To help the sidewall pull the car up and out, get a quick U-turn, and we're going to head into a big drop off of that ledge and then onto a second stair and drop all the way down to the sandy floor. Now we've got to climb the ledge back up, and we're in a time crunch. We have 6-minute time limits on all courses in all classes this year, just to simplify things and help get things moving. We have excellent turnouts at our event, which I love all the support from everyone. However, it is difficult to get through more than 100 competitors all lined up for multiple classes, so we're doing things this year to try and make it as efficient as possible. Here we go, feeling good about that course. That was my best class 3 run. I had another one that wasn't quite as awesome, but now we're going to jump over to an unlimited course. So I built this course kind of with the MOAs and the sportsman cars in mind. However, I don't own one currently, so I had to set it with the Super Capra, which means I turn up the difficulty a little bit. Now, this is an unfortunate part about this location, is that there were a few spots where I had to stack some rocks, and through the day they had kind of come unstacked and moved, and things get shifted around as tires spin on them, and I'm really fighting to even get up the first ledge towards the first gate. Now, this is not how you want to start your course. You don't want to start out flustered. It can really set the wrong pace and the wrong mindset for the rest of the course. So ended up going over backwards, able to throttle out and end up back on my tires, which basically gave me a full reset of trying to drive back in here. Now my car is equipped with portals, and I am running 2.2 inch cut and shut BFG crawlers that I make myself. So I've got an advantage as far as axle clearance across these rocks, but it's just too steep and slick. And with all these competitors coming out here, it really just kind of polishes the rocks and really takes the traction out of them on this sandstone. So once you have 30 to 40 competitors, the traction really changes and the surface is just not the same as when I came out and practiced and set hard gates. So by the time you take traction away on difficult gates, it just ups the difficulty even more. So using a bit of servo wiggling, I've got Shift RC servos in this car. I've got a GT3 in the front and an X2 in the rear, and they are a sponsor for the North vs. South series, so thank you very much, Shift. In my Class 2 truck, I am running Reefs RC. I've got a winch in there from Reefs, as well as a Smart 1100, so thank you, Reefs. Here we go. Those blue cones were actually a bonus gate. I set those before gate 1, so someone could make the choice to run the bonus first, and then head over to gate number 1. Here we go, fighting for traction just a little bit, and then we're going to drop across this rock and try and head up this very steep wall. And again, getting back to the traction, it just kind of eroded away. And I also don't want to go too crazy on the throttle as I try and get up here because I don't want to bump a cone by accident. Very, very close to that number 2 cone, but was able to pull away from it. I did not see any cone movement. Now we're going to drop back down, and the rock I'm on is kind of turning into a sharp spine, and then I land on a big flat stepping stone rock. The next gate, gate number 4, there's a big hole that you have to traverse, and I decided last second that I wanted to try and approach it almost from a 180-degree different angle, and here we go. Coming in from a completely different angle than most people are able to get, because the MOA guys typically build their cars to WRCCA rules, so they got a 12.5 inch wheelbase, and they typically do not have rear steer. In my class, I will allow it because it's unlimited. This is a cool course feature here, a little rock canyon. I'm going to go ahead and ask the judge to pause time while I walk around. And all of our competitors are free to do so. They can pause time at any time as long as they just need to safely navigate the course. I don't want anybody falling. Here we go, dropping down out of gate number 5, steep descent into the sandy bottom, and then we're going to loop around and go back up and climb to the top of these rocks. I'm going to go up the more mellow ledge area, and then again just making things as easy as I can on the way up to the next gate. Now I know this will belly out my car pretty bad, so I try and get my tires set, and then I throttle up and try and bump the car up to a position where the rear axle can easily climb. Now I will say that worked out very well in my favor, and it did not always go that easy even in setting the courses. This is one of the key features on the courses. I really wanted to scare people and make them think that this was big and scary, and this is legitimately no joke. Watch, by the time the car drops down there, my car is more than vertical, and my rear tires are barely hanging onto that front ledge before my front tires can touch down. Thankfully, my car has quite a bit of overdrive, and was able to pull the nose out from under the car. We just passed some blue gates there. That was the optional bonus number 2, but I did not want to mess with them as I am getting low on time after fighting with the beginning of that course. Unfortunately, learning that this car likes to get stuck on its roof once upside down. So that is something I will have to try and avoid, and maybe possibly address with a different style roof panel in the future. We will find out. But for now, I am realizing, all these competitors have dug out all the sand that was there to help me get up on top of this rock previously. Again, ending up upside down and completely stuck on the roof. Forward, reversed, rear steer was not helping me get back on my tires. So this time, coming in on a different approach and trying to get a pinch on the front tires. The front tire washes off of the rock. I have been told that I have under a minute at this point. So I've got 2 more gates to navigate as well as get up this climb, which is just not working out in my favor at this point in time. Finally able to get 1 tire up, but just not getting my rear set into a position where it will really help me out. Using all 4 wheels, and there we go, decided to back out to the sandy bottom again, and let's try and get this pinch one more time. Not working out yet again, eating up reverses, adding points to the score, just trying to get through the final gates before time runs out. Now we're in a real crunch for time, so here we go. That front left really got a good hook and pulled the belly up, and then I had to work the rears to just escape that rock on the left. 45 seconds to get through the last 2 cones, so here we go. Swinging the rear all the way around, which would be very difficult to do drag axle, but luckily I brought my wiggly bits on this car. So there we are, getting fully rotated, dropping to the bottom, 15 seconds remaining to get through the last gate. It is a technical V-crack, and I need to stay balanced and not drop a tire in. I've got less than 5 seconds right here, so I decided to go ahead and throttle up. The rear steer was still pointed up, and I tagged that number 10 cone on the way out of that course. Super fun courses I had set. I really enjoyed them. I had heard from everybody I talked to positive responses, other than the Class 2 courses just got really hammered and degraded over time through the day, which is just kind of the nature of that area with the red sandstone and the soft dirt in the area. The next 2 events are going to be using very grippy white sandstone and should not be as big of an issue for the future events. So I'm really looking forward to the airport as well as Cedar City in the final South events. Thank you guys so much for watching. I greatly appreciate it. If you are able to come out to a North vs. South series event, I will leave a link in the description for our Facebook group where you can learn more about the events and rules. As we do not run Sorka rules, we run our own set of rules to be more inviting to new drivers wanting to get into competition. My name is Logan with West Desert Wheeler. Thank you so much for watching. We will see you guys in the next one. Keep the rubber side down.